most talented. Let's go for the most talented wrestler you ever worked with.
Wow. Steamboat. Steamboat. Rudy the Dragon Steamboat, probably.
Yeah, probably an easy
Man,
one.
but, bro, think about it. My career was so blessed that I got to wrestle with so many people that I idolized as a child. So then you add that to it, right? Like doing one of the greatest angles was an angle that Arn Anderson came up, in which I ended up because he did need knee surgery. He found me in Charlotte, and we got into a fight in the gas station,
Yeah.
right? And the thing, and literally it was great because he shoot had to have surgery, and if you go back to where that little girl was there and the dad and they were signing an autograph, and then he comes up and says, Watts, I told you not to be in Charlotte, all this other stuff. I always would put the STF on the left leg. He was so good with detail in his interviews and everything else. He said, hey, my knee operation is actually going to be on my right leg, so make sure you STF my right leg. That's how professional. And so you take him, and here I am. It's even my first year, and I'm doing a flipping tour, and the heat on me was so huge. And people would come up to Arn, and Arn would tell me, why are you doing this? You got to hate it. And he would act like, oh, I'm so sick. The office is making me do this. He's the one that came up with it. He's the one that came up with the angle. And it helped me so much and made me so much. He goes, Erik, these guys don't get it. He goes, if you've got heat here, you got heat in the audience. He said, so I'm just going to take who's talked about the most in the kayfabe sheets and and I'm going to do an angle with them. Why wouldn't I? Now, he goes, but don't tell anyone this. So I don't even know how many people know that to this day. That was an Arn Anderson. He cooked that whole thing up.
There's two things, actually, because I was going to ask this somewhere else. And one, I can't help but notice that Arn is wearing Zubaz during that thing. It's like bright pink Zubaz.
Unbelievable. And the old school guys like Brad Armstrong and him, I'll be a son of a bitch if they didn't have the Zubaz all the time. And a lot of times, because the big deal was to go get the jacket from the steak place in Tokyo.
Ribera Steakhouse.
Yeah. And brother, people would fight over those, right? They would fight. And I went to Ribera's, and I went to, because I wrestled Japan and all this other stuff. I never got one of the jackets. But those Zubaz, bro, the Zubaz, the fanny packs, and the high-tech boots are called high-tech that you go work out with, the military black boots. That's all we wore, man. That's all we wore.
The other thing is Arn has said this, the police who turned up, rolled round, when you've got Arn in the STF,
yeah,
were they in on it or not? Because Arn has suggested that they just happened to be passing.
I bet you Arn doesn't even know this. So this is hilarious. So Dusty Rhodes is the producer of this shot. So they came up with this idea that, okay, I can't remember. I was supposed to get married on like February, whatever it was, 13th or whatever Valentine's Day was. I had asked a year in advance, or 6th or some shit. I asked a year in advance. My fiance has got the napkins, the everything monogrammed, the marriage. And my career takes off so fast that my dad goes, hey, listen, I know that you said that, you're going to get married, but shit changes. We got a pay-per-view. I said, but Dad, and he goes, no, this angle between you and Arn is so hot that you're going to have to show up in this pay-per-view. I said, but that's the day of my wedding. He goes, right. So you're going to have to change your wedding. Literally, we had to move the wedding back to the week before, the week after. All our shit is for a different week. It was hilarious. So anyway, so Dream comes up with this thing about, basically I was going to get suspended for getting in a fight with Arn because it's in Charlotte, right? And so the irony of this, which is so beautiful, Arn attacks me. I end up getting the better of Arn, but I get arrested because the police love Arn Anderson so much. So now I am suspended from the pay-per-view. It's only because of this girl whose dad was taking a picture of her getting her autograph by her favorite wrestler that exposed the truth about this corrupt police and Arn Anderson, right? And so then they did it, and then all of a sudden I was put back on the show. And if you would have heard the place erupt and the shit that happened live. And let me tell you something else. I cannot tell you how many people 100% knew that wrestling was fake, but they knew 100% that fight actually happened. I can't tell you how many people. So Dusty Rhodes says, "Hey baby, let me at the Pizza Hut, if you will, across the street, and then we're gonna go over this." And so I'm sitting with Dusty, right? And it's about noon, and pizza's got a buffet. Well, it starts kind of sleeting. It is cold as hell. And it's sleeting. He goes, "Give it. I think I'm going to produce from here in Pizza Hut." So he never came across to kind of watch it and get the videotapes. Literally, this was me pulling up into a gas station, a girl's dad. So now she comes up and I'm like, yeah, how you doing? Then here comes Arn barreling. It was hilarious because the car kind of jumped up. He came in so fast. Like he came in and he comes in Watts and boom and hits me and bam, 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 and it's going. Well, what ends up happening is then I turn the tide on him. I get him in the SDF and I'm cranking him. Well, no one smartened up the owner of the gas station.
Oh, really?
So now he's coming out. Now, here's the deal. I was just told some police are going to come up. They're going to arrest me and they're going to take me off. That's what Arn knew too. So here comes a guy. And if you look at me, if you watch it, you'll see me saying something to a guy coming out. And because now think of this. I got him in an SDF. This guy said, I'm calling the police. And he's like grabbing like this guy's phone, but I don't know if the guy's got a gun. Like, I don't know, like, is this guy going to shoot me or is he going to? So I said, mother, well, I could say, I said, let me explain something. You get any closer, I'll break your effing neck. So now I am verbally threatening that guy because I am halfway scared. I'm going to get shot by someone. I don't know who it is, why they're screaming at me, what's going on. So now police come up. I have my Fiesta Bowl ring on. Fiesta Bowl is a huge college bowl. It used to be one of the top three. In my junior year, we played University of Alabama, which is known in America as like the pinnacle of teams, and we crushed them 34-7. So to say anything, that bowl ring meant a lot to me. So I got my bowl ring on, I got my Rolex on, I'm doing my thing, right? Here comes these cops. What are you doing? Bro, when they grab me and they get, what are you doing? Cuff me. Now listen, those cuffs depend on your wrist. When they clamp them, it's steel, bro. And if they want to light your world up, they lit my world up. Then they take me and slam me into the car, split my ear in half. My bowl ring goes off my hands. So it's in the parking lot. I'm bleeding. They jam me. Now I'm 6'6". Those cars are not very big in the back seat where they keep the dogs and stuff. I'm in there. But when they threw me, I'm sitting on my fingers are weird. And I feel like I'm like breaking my fingers. So now, but my knees are caught in the seats. So I'm trying to move. And I'm like, and I mean, I'm like dizzy. And they get in and they go, they're just dog cussing me. Get me in the car. Yeah, we're going to put you under the jail. I'm like, so I go, hey guys, can we loosen these effing cuffs up? What? We should beat your ass. I'm like, guys, you're the best actors I've ever been around, because I said this, if anyone else wonders how good you are, please have me as a referral for you. You guys are taking this off the top. I said, guys, we're 5 minutes away from that fucking place. They go, what are you talking about? All of a sudden, dispatch. Car 51. And they go, yes. They go, do you have Erik Watts in the car? And they go, yes. Whatever, the colonel or the highest ranking sheriff or whatever gets on. Yes, we've got to talk. Can you pull over, please? And they go, we need to get Erik Watts back to that site and release him. Like, release him? There was an all-out brawl in the middle. This guy, this assault and battery. They go, no, that was a staged thing. And the cops that were supposed to be there did not okay it with me. And they got held up in a call. And you guys got the real call because there was not going to be a call. The gas station guy called.
Right.
we sent it out. This kid, and so then when they took me back, that girl had actually found my ring, gave me my ring, my ears bleeding, and no, it was shoot. It was real, and it was real police that were coming, but Dusty had worked it out with some rest of police officers that were fans that were supposed to tell the chief of police, but didn't tell the chief of police for whatever reason, and whatever reason. So, but you look back at it, and it made that whole video because it was stressful. Like it was like we say, it's a shoot, and so it was a shoot. Yeah. I mean, I was like, guys, man, you guys are awesome. I mean, my ears messed up, and they're like, shut up, we should beat your head. And I'm like, okay, this is really good acting. You guys are awesome. Is there Academy Award for your asses? Because I'm like, I think I'm being funny, and they're getting more mad at me. Like, you think that's funny? Yeah. So Arn is 100% right. But see, Arn didn't know all that. I don't know what Arn knows not because, he got back in his car and left or did whatever he did, right? I don't know what happened, right? So me and him, the funny thing about it is I saw him probably about 3 years ago. All I ever do when I see Arn is hug him and tell him I love him and say, sir, at a time when you should have never, ever wanted to ever even be in the same locker room with me because I had so much heat. You of all people, you are so confident in who you are as a wrestler and a person that you took on a project that no one else would ever want, sir. And you changed my trajectory because once they saw Arn and I do this angle and then we sold out everywhere because everyone wanted to pay to see Arn Anderson whip my ass. But now listen, 21 days of training. I'm 5 or 6 months into this thing or 7 months, whatever, when I do this Arn Anderson thing. And then we go on the road when he gets his knee done. We go on the road for 3, 4, 5. I don't know how long they stretched out. How else could you, or who else could you ever ask to go on the road for a month and a half and do an angle with other than Arn flipping Anderson, right? I mean, there's baby faces that I wish I could have gone on like a Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, but he's a baby face, right? That I would love to go on the road with Sting, to be in the ring with him as he calls a match or as he performs and does his stuff. But man, the pinnacle, you're talking about Arn freaking. I mean, around Mount Rushmore, he could very easily be like on a Mount Rushmore of pro wrestlers. He really could. I mean, or he's up there. The man's amazing. The man's amazing.